Christopher Columbus, born between August 25 and October 31, 1451, died May 20, 1506, was an Italian explorer and navigator who completed 4 voyages across the Atlantic Ocean sponsored by the Catholic monarchs of Spain, opening the way for the widespread European exploration and colonization of the Americas. His expeditions were the first known European contact with the Caribbean, Central America, and South America. The name Christopher Columbus is the anglicization of the Latin Christophorus Columbus. Scholars generally agree that Columbus was born in the Republic of Genoa and spoke a dialect of Ligurian as his first language. He went to sea at a young age and traveled widely, as far north as the British Isles and as far south as what is now Ghana. He married Portuguese noblewoman Filipa Moniz Perestrello, who bore his son Diego, and was based in Lisbon for several years. He later took a Castilian mistress, Beatriz Enriquez de Arana, who bore his son, Fernando, also given as Hernando. Largely self-educated, Columbus was knowledgeable in geography, astronomy, and history. He developed a plan to seek a western sea passage to the East Indies, hoping to profit from the lucrative spice trade. After the Granada War, and following Columbus's persistent lobbying in multiple kingdoms, the Catholic monarchs Queen Isabella I and King Ferdinand II agreed to sponsor a journey west. Columbus left Castile in August 1492 with 3 ships and made landfall in the Americas on October 12, ending the period of human habitation in the Americas now referred to as the pre-Columbian era. His landing place was an island in the Bahamas, known by its native inhabitants as Guanahani. He subsequently visited the islands now known as Cuba and Hispaniola, establishing a colony in what is now Haiti. Columbus returned to Castile in early 1493, bringing a number of captured natives with him. Word of his voyage soon spread throughout Europe. Columbus made 3 further voyages to the Americas. Exploring the Lesser Antilles in 1493, Trinidad and the northern coast of South America in 1498, and the eastern coast of Central America in 1502. Many of the names he gave to geographical features, particularly islands, are still in use. He also gave the name Indios, Indians, to the indigenous peoples he encountered. The extent to which he was aware that the Americas were a wholly separate landmass is uncertain. He never clearly renounced his belief that he had reached the Far East. As a colonial governor, Columbus was accused by his contemporaries of significant brutality and was soon removed from the post. Columbus's strained relationship with the Crown of Castile and its appointed colonial administrators in America led to his arrest and removal from Hispaniola in 1500, and later to protracted litigation over the perquisites that he and his heirs claimed were owed to them by the Crown. Columbus's expeditions inaugurated a period of exploration, conquest, and colonization that lasted for centuries, thus bringing the Americas into the European sphere of influence. The transfer of commodities, ideas, and people between the Old World and New World that followed his first voyage are known as the Columbian Exchange. Columbus was widely celebrated in the centuries after his death. But public perception has fractured in the 21st century as scholars have given greater attention to the harms committed under his governance, particularly the beginning of the depopulation of Hispaniola's indigenous Tainos caused by mistreatment and Old World diseases, as well as by that people's enslavement. Many places in the Western Hemisphere bear his name, including the country of Colombia, the District of Columbia, and British Columbia. During a violent storm on his first return voyage, Columbus, then 41, had suffered an attack of what was believed at the time to be gout. In subsequent years, he was plagued with what was thought to be influenza and other fevers, bleeding from the eyes, temporary blindness, and prolonged attacks of gout. The attacks increased in duration and severity, sometimes leaving Columbus bedridden for months at a time, and culminated in his death 14 years later. Some historians such as H. Michael Tarver and Emily Slape, as well as medical doctors such as Arnett and Antonio Rodriguez Cortero, believe that Columbus had such a form of reactive arthritis, but according to other authorities, this is speculative, or very speculative. After his arrival to Sanlúcar from his 4th voyage and Queen Isabella's death, an ill Columbus settled in Seville in April 1505. He stubbornly continued to make pleas to the crown to defend his own personal privileges and his family's. He moved to Segovia where the court was at the time on a mule by early 1506. And, on the occasion of the wedding of King Ferdinand with Germaine of Foix in Valladolid, Spain, in March 1506, Columbus moved to that city to persist with his demands. On May 20, 1506, aged 54, Columbus died in Valladolid. Columbus is venerated by many European Americans as the man who helped put America on the map. Columbus Day is observed on October 12 in Spain and across the Americas. Others take a more critical view of Columbus, arguing that his discovery was not really a discovery, because the land was already populated and that through his actions the ensuing European colonizations led to the mistreatment and genocide of the Native American people who already lived there.